Hello guys, this is Jerry speaking. Welcome to LJPCBM React, episode 319. And today, we're going to react to Purple Tales podcast, episode 1. And Carrie Siston of Barney and Friends, and who's recently going to be a photographer. And he did this. Purple Tales podcast. So, Carrie Siston, who is a Barney costume actor, if you watch this now, you're going to love my reaction videos to Purple Tales podcast. If you love these podcasts you're going to see, then you're going to love my reaction videos to this. So, without further ado, before we begin episode 1 of Purple Tales podcast, I'm going to search up Purple Tales podcast in the news real quick and get that rolling before we begin. I'm going to search up Facebook and get the reaction going. I have seen the news report before from a friend of mine, some Barney fans of mine, and from a friend of mine named Len Vergara, aka Kitchen Life Channel. Now, Len, if you watch this episode right now, this is for you. I can't find it anywhere. Now, Len, if you're watching this, it's for you. You're gonna love what I see on LJPCBM Reacts episode 319. So there you go on that. Let me scroll down to more. Come on. Searching up the news report. And get that going. Okay. There we go. Anyway. Come on. You know what? WAFF. There we go. That's what I'm searching for, okay. That's what I'm supposed to be searching for, okay. Okay. Never mind. Anyway, let's continue on. And we're gonna react to this in I was trying to react to this, but then something came up in my mind, and I just want to make sure I can do episode 1 of Carrie's Purple Tales podcast without just sitting here and do nothing but just look at my screen right now. But my computer just acting up. So anyway, let's start reacting to this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Hold on. I skipped the 2 seconds anyway. Let's continue on. Play.
Continuing our look now at the best in children's television. This morning, the new kid, or dinosaur on the block.
So the big purple reptile that kids can't resist.
The big purple
dinosaur.
Teaches about love, and it just kind of like suits the kids.
And always, there's that signature song.
Okay, that is cool.
Welcome to the inaugural very first episode of Purple Tales podcast. I'm Nancy J, and your host is none other than Carrie Stinson, who for more than 20 years was the man, the person inside the...
Oh, wait. Really? Nancy J? Hang on. Scroll down. Hang out with this guy's inside the suit. Let me see that. Can you try David Voss? Yeah, yeah. Comment that. Yeah, yeah. Dude, Bob West. No. Ivan Well, agreed. Nancy J. Yeah, maybe agree with Nancy J. What? Wait. Hold up. She's the host? Really? Continue on. Move on. I can't play. Come on.
Purple suit. Carrie, what do you feel when you hear those 3 notes?
love. Such an amazing, that song and everything that it stood for.
You have tears in your eyes.
It brings back all these incredible stories and memories.
So why are you just now deciding to really share these incredible stories and memories?
Couple reasons. One, I have found over the years that when people do find out what I used to do, they're interested, and they have stories. They came to a show, they watched the TV, their kid loved it. And second of all, we're losing some of the people that used to be with the show, and I think it's important for us to be able to get these amazing stories out and these amazing people that were involved with the show.
I think anytime you mention Barney, it just makes you feel good.
Good enough.
Yes.
Wouldn't you say so?
Absolutely.
But how did you come to be in this podcast? Why was there somebody that like said, "Hey, Carrie, you need to be telling your story"?
There was a very good friend of mine who we'd known each other over a year, and I got a text one night and said, "Were you Barney?" I was like, "Yeah."
You know what?
I was.
I tell you what, it's funny because you and this friend of yours are the ones who have created Barney and the Purple Tales podcast.
Yes.
So I think, and he's kind of our boss on this podcast.
Yes.
So if you don't mind, Chris Kraft, can you get in here? And,
I'm supposed to be behind the scenes, guys.
Agreed.
Oh.
I'm just joking.
No, come on. Wait, but it's amazing. You and Carrie were friends, and you had no idea that he had anything to do with Barney.
No, not at all. I kind of knew Carrie as a photographer, so that's how we connected. We did, I think, an art show actually
We did.
together.
We did.
And we cruised around the back roads of Texas, thousands of miles. And one day I was at home with our beautiful granddaughter, and we're trying to keep her entertained in her little pack and play. And we decided that we would switch to some kids programming, and she would have none of it. She didn't like it. Whatever 0 to 3 programmers put on Netflix was just not her thing, and we.
Okay. That's not our thing. Okay, understandable. I don't know what just happened here with Carrie. Yeah, I haven't seen parts of the episode when it comes with, let's say, when it comes with Barney, my childhood favorite. I've seen it since Barney Lab in New York City with 95. I talked to Carrie on the mess PM, and he didn't reply. So I had to talk to him personally via PM. So I'll explain more about it to him as soon as I can. So let's continue on.
Threw a Hail Mary pass and said, "Is Barney streaming anywhere?" And because our kids grew up on Barney.
Yeah.
And we put it on, and from those first 3 notes that we started this podcast with, she was hooked. We literally binge watched with a 2-year-old, probably 3 or 4 episodes, and it was on one of those episodes that we saw the credits rolling, and I saw Carrie's name. I'm like, "Stop, put it on pause." I took a screenshot, I texted it to him, and I'm like, "Dude, were you Barney?" I literally still have the text, "Dude, were you Barney?" And those 3 little dots that appear when people are hesitating to respond showed up, and he said, and I could tell reluctantly, "Yes, that was me for 22 years.
Yeah.
And that was just like, wow. So that from that moment on, I knew him for over a year. And from that moment on, I was really urging him because, I didn't want to be a fanboy with this new knowledge. But my kids grew up on Barney. And so I would be teasing these stories out of him on these long road trips where we're doing pictures, and they were amazing. I'm like, "You got to get these stories out. You have to tell. You have to tell these stories." And for a lot of reasons, which we'll probably cover, he was reluctant to do that. And with a lot of urging and nudging and pushing, we're here today doing the first episode.
Well, thank you for that nudging and pushing. So, Chris, get back to work. You've got to be our boss. Make sure everything goes well here on this first podcast.
Yes.
So, what was your feeling when you realized here's his friend, and now you're going to have to kind of come clean?
I love it. I really do. And I've never run from it. I'm very proud of it. Very proud of it. Just, becoming a photographer and going in that direction has been my focus. But
yeah, exactly.
I love hearing the stories. And it brings back so many wonderful memories.
Do you feel like you're just kind of stripped down a little bit now? I mean, this is
Sure.
We're unveiling
Right.
your face. People
Right.
are going to see you now.
Yeah. Yes. It is a little different, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, so through the years, did you make a lot of good friends? I mean, is everyone kind of dispersed?
No, we still are connected. Um,
Mm.
You know, it's such an amazing the show and all aspects of Barney, not just the TV show, but the tour and everyone involved with it. Loved it so much and were so passionate about it, and so we were all very close. We spent a lot of time together, and I can't even tell you how excited I'm about who we have here today.
Whoa. Who do we have here today?
So this is one of my brother in arms. We did the show together for years, but I knew him over 25 years.
Okay, so
And someone else will be unveiling his face as well.
oh, okay. Who might that be?
That would be Jeff Ayers. And here's
Welcome.
Baby Bob.
Hello.
Hello. You know what? To me, I mean, I remember covering this story, Barney, when Barney first started being a news reporter, television reporter in Texas, and when this was based here and everything was happening, I was reporting on this. But the two names, the two characters, were Barney and Baby Bop. Y'all are probably the most famous, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Yes, well, Barney obviously was the first character, and then Baby Bop was number 2 that they
Okay.
brought on.
Okay.
And you start. What year did you start, Jeff?
93.
And how was your? How did you audition? How did you find out about it?
Well, that's a story. First of all, I used to be a mascot, and I used to mascot in high school, mascot in college, and also I worked for NCA, teaching mascots all over the country, and doing cheerleading camps. And so I wanted to be a professional mascot after I got out of college, and knocked on the door of the Mavericks, the Cowboys, and kind of presented a plan to them. Got in touch with Ted, the San Diego Chicken, and he hooked me up with the Chicago Bulls, and that deal fell through. And all of a sudden, I was working at a gig several years later, and I got a call from my my agent, Peggy Taylor, and she wanted me to go audition for this character on Barney.
Oh, really? Peggy Taylor, yeah. I wonder where she is now. Okay, continue on.
And it was one of the body puppets.
And did you know what Barney was at the time?
I never watched Barney in my life.
What do you mean by body puppet?
The dinosaurs were classified as body puppets.
Yeah. So there's 2 people involved in each of the dinosaurs: a voice, and then someone inside.
You weren't the voice?
I was not the voice. I was not the voice. So yes. So each of us, he was in the
It takes
costume
2
as well.
people to run the outfit, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the audition.
Okay, and so I watched one of the videos to kind of do my homework, and I didn't have a clue that it was going to be Baby Bop. But I watched Barney and Baby Bop, and I said, okay, I can do this. It's one of the body puppets, and so I show up at KD Studios and walk in the door, and there's a room full of girls in ballet outfits.
Okay.
But isn't that Baby Bop? Isn't Baby Bop a girl?
Yes, but I didn't know that it was for a ballerina, basically. And so I show up, and I'm going, I think I'm in the wrong place. And so the casting director came and goes, no, it's for a body puppet. It's for a costume. They just dressed up like the character.
Exactly.
I said, well, I didn't bring my tutu. So, what did I do? She goes, don't worry, And so they had the call, and we went through the room, and I showed up in the room, and they asked me to be shy, to be sad, emotions. And those emotions is what I used to teach all my mascots at NCA camp.
Yeah.
And so the bigger the emotions, the bigger expressions you make. And so I had them rolling because of my face expressions. And then they wanted me to put the suit on, and Baby Bop was 5'7" at the time. And so I'm
The original.
the original Baby Bop is 5'7". So they had the suit there, and they put the suit on me, rolled everything up, and put the head on me, and bam, the lights went on.
Okay.
And I knew right then that I think I got it because I lit them up, and I wasn't for sure, but I felt really good about my audition. and then the rest was history. So,
Wow. I mean, so you took the place of a 5'7" Baby Bop.
yeah, they wanted to make Baby Bop smaller because their ultimate goal is to bring in a character which was Baby Bop's brother. And Baby Bop's brother was older than Baby Bop, so it would be hard to bring BJ, up against Baby Bop. And so they needed somebody in between the costumes.
You're going to have to make me a family tree.
Well, and I also know they also did it because the kids could relate to it.
Yeah.
It was so big that for a little one, it's intimidating, and they could go right to Baby Bop.
And that right there was very neat because we do meet and greets at different locations and stuff like that. We do concerts and stuff like that. They always do meet and greets. And whenever we do a meet and greet, Barney was like 10 feet tall,
or something like that.
Or something like that. He was not. He was. On TV, he's only, small.
Right.
But when you see the kids run up to Barney and all of a sudden put the brakes on and then scream bloody murder, and all of a sudden Baby Bop's there. Oh, let's just go to Baby Bop. And they should have made it the Baby Bop show. But
Well, you never know. You never know. That could still happen, perhaps. So, do you remember meeting each other? Because you were already Baby Bop for a while before you came on, or what was your
So
name?
when I started, I actually started before the TV show. So I started doing birthday parties. They had done 3 videos at that point.
What year?
So this was 91 when I started.
Okay.
And when it got on the TV show, they shut down birthday parties for legal reasons, as you can imagine. And they needed a second person because all of a sudden it was blowing up. So a gentleman named David Joyner was doing the show at the time, and that's who Jeff worked with for years. And then I was doing PR. And then I toured, and then Jeff and I actually did the TV show together years later.
Yeah.
But on the PR, we would go on the road together doing sing-alongs.
And that was really neat because they had these 20-minute sing-alongs, and it was a couple of songs that we did, and we knew that we had something going on because we did a little tour down the East Coast, and we were packing stadiums, and I got a photo of the back of the stadium, and all it is strollers. And it's a whole parking lot full of strollers.
Wow.
And we didn't know how big it was because we're sitting there filming on TV until we got out and saw it, the effect from all.
But I had been seeing that.
And he's been seeing.
I had been on the road, so I did promotional tours for JCPenney's originally. That's when I got originally hired for them. And the first one that I showed up, it was in Mesquite.
Mesquite, Texas.
In Mesquite, Texas, yes. And the whole concept that was Barney would be in the store, in the JCPenney store, and then kids could meet Barney, and it had all the Barney store to it.
Okay.
And the first night, so many people showed up that they destroyed the store. They rushed to get to Barney and knocked down everything. So they started a new policy that no one went to Barney. Barney went to them because we just had so many people in time-wise. So I'm on the weekend seeing 10,000, 15, 25,000. But they're in Allen shooting in this little studio, not seeing how popular the show was becoming.
Again, Allen, Texas.
Allen, Texas.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, kind of small town for North Texas, and this amazing idea came out.
Yeah. Well, and Jeff, tell them about the studio in Allen, the first studio that you.
Yeah, the studio was they're off of Bethany in Allen. It's a small studio that we'd shoot from one angle, and we'd be in the school, and then turn around and shoot from. We'd back all the cameras up and then shoot from the playground back into the school. So it was a very small studio, and then we moved on to Las Colinas.
Okay.
And this was before the internet. This was before
Yes.
any. So how did you get all of these fans? How did that work out?
It's all love and all the hard work and all that type of stuff. Plus, him going out on the road and doing the small concerts and appearances and getting the word out. And I know that that it worked out very well because PBS was wanting to change things and they didn't want it to change.
Yeah, they got videos in Blockbuster originally as well.
Maybe we should explain to some of our viewers and listeners what Blockbuster was.
Yeah, it's a video store.
And if you had the visual, you'd see the single tier.
Yeah, the single tier. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So yes,
Yes,
so
we were back. Yes,
Okay.
when it was when Blockbuster Video was around.
VHS.
VHS.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And they actually, it's very brilliant. Cheryl Leach, who created the show, went to Blockbuster to get them in all of their stores, corporate. And
Okay.
they turned her down. So she got to get together a network of mothers. They went to the individual stores and got those videos in the stores. And Larry Rifkin, who was up in Connecticut Public Television, his daughter rented one of those videos, and he saw the reaction. And that's how he ended up getting the show. And as Jeff said, the show actually got canceled.
It was almost being canceled. It wasn't officially canceled.
Yeah.
It was heading that way, and I think it was the year that I came on. They were thinking about maybe, taking it off, but all the babysitters and all the moms and
Yes.
and the dads, they didn't protest it, but they raised a ruckus, and they realized that it was very important what we were doing, and it was very educational. And then, one of the other things that was out there was educational books. The books that were done. Carrie and I, did photography and was shooting books. And I got to tell a story about we were shooting Barney Goes to the Grocery Store.
Okay.
And we did a couple of
Yes.
grocery stores in the area, and we couldn't do it during the day because the mobs. So we shot at night. We
Okay.
shot it late at night, like at midnight through 5 o'clock.
Local grocery
Okay.
stores all over Dallas.
And the neatest thing was, after we get through, we'd head to our trailer, in our suits, and head to the trailer. And one little girl came walking around the corner and ran right smack into me. She about eye level with me. And she went, "Baby Pop shops at this store." And so it's about 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning. So I think we've ruined her life because she'll want to go shopping at 4 o'clock in the morning from now on. And
Looking for Baby Bob.
looking for Baby Pop.
No one asked why she was there at 4 in the
She
morning.
was either her nanny or mom or somebody.
Wow.
And she had her blankie, and they were getting something. So, but that's one of our other stories. Is
If that little girl is listening, if she remembers running into you, please let us know. Contact us. We will put you in touch with Jeff. My gosh, when did you realize this was a big deal? Was there a moment, kind of that aha, like, yeah, you know what? This is huge.
I know when for me, so I'll be interested when for you. Because I think it might be the
really
same
getting
moment.
to see it on TV and seeing the work. And, I say the work. The work was, thousands of people that were in part of our family.
Yes.
And that went from the grip to the lights to the wranglers to everybody that's a part of it. It was something special, how it was working. Didn't have a clue how it was going to go, but how we touched all these people, even the school teachers that worked with us, the people that did the script and making sure it was educational. Cheryl, Kathy, Dennis, all the producers, and the list goes on. And then you go into the books, all the publishing, all the team that was on the publishing team, special events. It was a big machine, a big family that got it working.
But we were all local.
To Texas.
We were all local to Texas.
So when was your moment?
Well, it's got to be Radio City Music.
Yeah, and I agree
In
with you there.
1994, so they took us up to New York. We did I think it was 12 shows.
It was 12 shows, Barney Live at Radio City.
Sold.
Yeah. And years ago, in '95, I was in my first Christmas. I've got Barney Live in New York City, then Babe and Rudolph, the Reagan Blast version. And this is my first Christmas. And when I first got it, it was an awesome thing. Barney Live in New York City was my passion for me. And it was awesome to first grade off. Continue on.
Out in
That was it. I think that was
30
it for
minutes,
me
something
too.
of that nature.
I think that was it for me too. The reality is, I am stepping on a stage I'm stepping in the middle of the stage that all these performers have performed on, and it was a blessing, except the elephant. So
Wait, whoa, what elephant? Were there live elephants?
we had an
We
elephant.
had a live elephant
We
in
had
the
a
show.
live elephant on Barney Live, so it was pretty interesting.
Messy?
Yeah, but yeah, the problem is with the elephant. When I came up with this idea for this "Do Yours Hangs Low," yeah, come on now, not the elephant song. Do the ears hang low? Seriously, come on, continue.
No, I think what he's referring to is, so this is a massive production.
Yeah.
We had dancers local in New York, and then all our crew, and kids, and massive production. And so we're sitting in our dressing area, and all of a sudden we hear, yeah, we got to get away. Yeah, in our ears, the elephant's gotten loose.
And this is before the show, wasn't it?
This is just a rehearsal.
Oh, okay. Because I couldn't remember if it was during one of the shows, like before
No,
the
it
show.
was a rehearsal.
It was a rehearsal, like a live rehearsal or something.
But the elephant's loose backstage, and you'll hear us, and throughout this whole podcast, you'll hear this a lot. We'll say Barney Magic. We all believe in Barney Magic. The elephant didn't destroy one thing.
It went straight to its spot. It went to the X on the floor where he was supposed to go.
Barney Magic. I am writing that down. Absolutely. So you had all of these kids and parents in the audience after the show. Did they storm the stage, or what? Did you ever get to really interact with the kids at Radio City Music Hall?
There's a pit there, so that kind of prevented them from coming up on board. But I kind of flash forward a little bit when we were doing these little road shows. We performed at Ryman Auditorium. Is it
Nashville?
Ryman?
Yeah, right.
And we performed there. Well, their stage had light bulbs all the way across the stage.
Well, it was the original.
You're at the Grand Ole
No,
Opry.
we were at the Grand Ole Opry, not the Ryman. We were at the Grand Ole
Grand
Opry.
Ole Opry performing, and that's the other real moment, because I'm stepping going, I can't believe it. I remember stepping out there when I was a little kid, when I was 3 years old, watching Slim Pickens, all these people on this stage, which was really cool. But back to the concert thing that we did, after the concert was over with, the parents would put the kids up there and push them towards Barney.
Mm-hmm.
And here's Barney, huge as big, really, really, really big. And here comes the little kid. So we had to, be very careful. But when they were stepping on stage, they broke all those light bulbs that went all the way around the stage. So that was another moment.
Yes.
So you traveled all over the world together on these shows?
When I came in, we did basically in the U.S. and Canada, and then they took off all over the place.
Wow.
So what did you put down on your passport as your profession?
I said professional crossdresser. No, just kidding. Just kidding. No, it was an actor.
Okay, so you considered yourself an actor during all, of course. And
Yes.
what was on yours, Carrie?
I just went with actor.
Okay, that too. Did you consider yourself actors?
I think
Yes.
probably more as a performer.
A performer.
I was a musician before I got the Barney job, so I didn't know how to dance. I don't know if did you learn to dance on the show, or did you?
I have 2 left feet, so I was a 3-year-old dancer. So yes.
But yeah, I had to learn a lot of that throughout this whole.
Yeah, we had a performance director. We had to learn dance, and but we had to get the suit moving too. So
Yeah.
That's a good question. The suit. What was involved in that, Jeff? Were you able to just zip yourself up and there you go, and Barney just puts his head on and that's it?
well, that was kind of. I got in the suit from the back, the kind of the side or the underneath it, and they put the head on me, but it was pretty good size. You picture it wearing kind of like a snowmobile outfit.
Okay.
And having to dance and sing and run around like crazy in a snowmobile outfit. So
Jeff and I learned very early on the responsibility. Barney and Baby Bop were so real and so important to these kids. This was their friends. So I wasn't Carrie anymore when I got in the costume. He wasn't Jeff. We were those characters, and we knew, whether it was TV or in Nashville or wherever we were, the importance of that. And that's why our relationship, I think, is so strong over all these years, because we had to rely on each other.
Yeah.
When we were doing scenes, if we were on the road, all of it worked because we were on the same page. We were helping each other.
And that even goes back to the voices.
Yes, absolutely.
Without the voices, I wouldn't be what I was. We synced up together.
How did you sync up together?
It took a while for me to do it because being a boy and a girl, and having to make sure that I was a 3-year-old and not, 18, 20-year-old dancing. I needed to be a 3-year-old, all giddy and happy and la la la, basically. But it was really learning the script and being able to understand my voice. And it was very scary because after a while, we clicked.
Okay.
And we really synced up together. And she knew kind of where I was going.
But you were never on the stage at the same time.
No.
She
She was
just,
in my ear.
oh boy, same thing.
Yeah,
Barney,
so
right?
they would have 4 monitors. So they would sit with a mic and 4 monitors and a script. And so they're watching us. We had a rehearsal week, just like a typical TV show would have. So, except the difference is, so on a Friday, they would be in a script reading, and we would be in choreography. So we'd be learning the moves, and they'd be learning the script. And then Monday, we would work together and go through the whole script, go through everything. So everyone had a general idea of what we were going to do. And if I was going to do a jump or a hop or a skip, we could talk that out so they would have a general idea of what was going to go on. And I think we each...
And they would make sure that they were clear of Barney, because Barney is huge, and it would whop him out. If he did his jump, he'd clear us if we were anywhere around him. So he goes, I'm going to do my jump right here. And I'm going, okay, I'll make sure I'm out of your way. And we knew what we were doing. We had to block ourselves.
Yes.
And make sure we kind of stick to it a little bit.
I was going to say, what if you did it wrong?
Well, I do it wrong all the time. So.
Well, you got knocked over.
You got knocked over.
Knocked over.
And we had a lot of collisions and a lot of bloopers on the set.
Injuries?
No, I don't think yeah, Carrie might have, but
maybe a couple.
Yeah, there might have been.
Just in case my mom.
Yeah, I just think I saw that when I saw bloopers on the Barney Blues channel, and I just want to upload those on during the Barney and Friends vlog season 6 finale. So there you go on that. Continue.
Listening, I don't.
And we'll talk about that later.
Well, yeah,
we'll get to that eventually. Well, so what was it like though after those shows? You take off the suit, and were you just drained? Were you tired? Did you want to go out on the town? Because you could. Nobody knew who you were, so you could do all sorts of things.
And that was a blessing because you don't have stalkers or all that type of stuff. One thing that I'm so blessed with was the wranglers, the people that was our dressers, and they would help us get in and out of the suits because they were the first person to put us in and the first person to get us out. And so they had to, where our electrolytes were gone, we were drained.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we might be a little angry or a little stressed or whatever, and they were the first ones to see us. So after pulling the suit off of us, it's like, here's your drink, here's your towel, smile.
They took amazing care of us.
Yes.
Each of them would be just watching us to make sure. And it might be my energy's low, and I'd give you a cracker. So, it was whatever.
A cracker. Let's make sure we get cracker.
But it was other items.
But whatever
bars,
it may be.
energy bars,
and Gatorade or water or towels or.
And they tried everything for us, and trying to make it work. And
sure,
they wanted us to stay in there as long as possible with us happy, and that was the main thing. Those wranglers are probably the key to the pie because They kept us, going. They doctored us. They fixed things, anything that was broken. And so they're one of our special people that.
Probably the least appreciated. I mean, we'll have to find some of those wranglers
we
to
should.
still
Not a
know
problem because they're very good friends. Very good friends. They understood just like we all did how important this is. They understood the importance of Barney. They understood how the kids loved. We would do Make-A-Wish. So you'll have a child that's terminal that would come on. Well, everyone's there. The directors and the wrangler. So everyone would see how important this was to children and to the parents. So everyone in these productions just was full of love and understanding the importance. This wasn't just a 9-to-5 job. This was something very important that we were doing.
And that's what I'm hearing talking to you is this was almost a mission. This was an important part of these kids' lives, their parents, and a big responsibility.
Yes.
That's I didn't get to do all the Make-A-Wish because they kept it small. They wanted it to be more of a moment with Barney. And most of the time we were there at the hospital, or different places like that. There was one person that asked me if we did, meet and greets. And I said, well, we don't really do meet and greets. He goes, well, I've got a friend that's got a kid that's got cancer. I said, okay, tell me about it. And he goes, well, he's wanted to do a Make-A-Wish, but they don't know it. I said, okay, give me his number. And I hooked it up with special events, and they brought him on the set. And we all melted because it was his last, maybe last week. And he was so burned with chemo and so much pain. And he laughed and giggled and cried, and we all did. And that was my first Make-A-Wish. And they don't usually bring Baby Bop into a lot of the Make-A-Wish because they wanted it to be just them and Barney. But they brought this kid to the set, and then everybody in the whole studio realized how special this was. And what we were doing.
So that had to be very, very emotional.
Yes.
It was sad, I saw it on the Best of Barney's featurette video, and it's on the bonus features of the Best of Barney DVD. And years ago, I was amazed by that time, and that's just me. I'm gonna make more of the reactions to the Purple Tales podcast more often. So let's say that. Continue on.
It was very hard, but it was a good thing. We're doing a blessing for this kid. This is his last wish. So
his last wish to see. That's amazing. I mean,
well, people, when I tell those stories, and you probably get this reaction too, they'll say, well, that's so sad. I'm like, it's not. It's not. I never saw a child sad when Barney came in the room. And it did not matter. I've seen things you just absolutely will not believe. I went to a hospital, and I don't know when I'm going in. They don't really tell us. We just kind of have a general idea that we're seeing sick children. And I went into this room, and Carrie's gone. So it's Barney. You're jumping and skipping and entertaining, and we don't travel. When we would do the hospitals, there wasn't a voice with us.
That was going to be my question. Okay.
So very rarely. It was usually just us. And I've never had a child say, why is Barney not speaking? Because just seeing him, I think, was, once again, a little hospital room, and you've got a 7-foot dinosaur in there moving and wiggling his tail in there. And so we do the thing, and you would just have a moment. So the kid and Barney would go, and I know you would have those too, Jeff. And I was leaving, and the kid said, Barney, I love you. And I was leaving, and I noticed the nurses and the doctor were crying. And so I left, I blew her a kiss, and I went on to the other rooms, and we got out of the costume, and I said, why were the nurses and the doctor was crying? They said, that little girl hasn't spoken in 2 years. These characters made them comfortable. They watched them every day. They trusted them. They loved them. And we never tried to entertain the parents. It was always about the children.
Yeah.
And so to have these just unbelievable, he says a blessing. I can't say that enough. Can't say that enough.
Remembering these stories, though, how does that make you feel now? You want to get back in those suits?
This fossil, I don't think could get back in the suit. So
Maybe a lot of stretching
a lot
and
of stretching. I'd be very high maintenance. No, it would be, I do it all over again. I mean, but back to just the whole machine of the family that put it together. I do it in a heartbeat. All the people that work together, it was the greatest job I ever had. And
Still.
Me being little, never discriminated against, never any negativity ever.
Agreed.
Ever, working for that family, and which was really cool. And I'd go do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you were out as yourself, as Jeff, and people say, "Hey, what do you do?" What would you say during those years? Did you say?
I would tell them I worked for Barney and Friends, but I wouldn't really tell them what I did. I kind of kept it quiet because only for people that were older, because I didn't tell kids that. I didn't want to break the moment, but I'd let parents kind of know.
What about when you were dating?
Yes.
That worked, huh?
Yes.
I'm going out with Baby Bob
Yeah.
or Barney.
I actually brought her to the set. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, and I've got another moment to share. I actually, when we had, I could get long into it, but I'll be very quick.
No, make it good. Come on, I want to hear everything.
I took my girlfriend at the time, to Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh.
And that was one of our first dates. And so, as the story goes, and it kind of, we're a little bit further ahead down the road, I took her to the set, introduced her to the crew, and they got to meet her and stuff like that. And then I got a phone call from the performance director saying, "Hey, we need somebody to do your stand-ins and a little sing-along while in New York. So you think Kim would do your stand-in work and also your sing-along while you're in New York?" I said, "Well, you need to ask her." And so they said, "Of course." And she went up there the week before. I went up. We were already up there 2 weeks, and then she came up behind me, and I had this moment. I said, "This is the perfect time to propose to her."
Still.
Okay.
Just
I'm
wait.
getting hot here.
Just-
Okay,
just
keep
wait.
going.
This is the perfect time to propose to her. So, I'll propose to her at the Empire State Building. And this was kind of a mistake because, Barney had about 500 people, or not that many people, but they had a large crew. And so after our wrap party, or after we wrapped the show, we went back to the hotel and took her to the Empire State Building, proposed to her, but went back to the wrap party, and the wrap party was our engagement party, which everybody was there, so we basically had to invite them to our wedding. So,
Oh my.
but that's my little love story. That
Best date ever. Can you top that, Carrie?
No, you
Come
you
on,
win that one, Jeff.
you're a little
You
red.
win-
Come on.
You win that one, Jeff.
But no, and that was it'll be a everlasting, story, because that was my family, my other family, and wanted to share the moment with them, and it's a blessing.
Well, and Kim's our family. I mean, it wasn't just us, but it was our families. It was everyone that became part of that.
Yeah, which I got to share the moment. So
Well, Carrie's often a little reticent about sharing his moments. What's your favorite Carrie story? See, you're
Isn't
red
there, like,
again.
can
You're
you-
red.
well,
We don't do commercials on this.
No,
We
there's-
can't-
no.
there's
a break.
No
or-
break.
well, there's a couple of them, like kind of like the meet and greets and stuff, where the kids come running up to Barney, and all of a sudden they lock lock legs and put the brakes on, and all of a sudden they see me, so they come to me, and I said, well, I guess we can call it the Baby Bop Show now, you know.
Okay.
You know, but he always said Barney and Friends, not Barney, Baby Bop, and BJ and Rev. It's Barney and Friends. So,
Exactly.
you know, I told him, I said, we just got to change the name. It's Baby Bop. You know?
And Friends, right?
Yeah, maybe Friends. So.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with this whole thing. Changing the name to Barney, Baby Bop, BJ, and Ref Vlogs. Seriously? Well, that's gonna help it out too, Meg. Continue.
So he was a good guy to travel with or
Yes.
kind of work with?
And we, you know, every time we travel, we'd hit the door running, basically. We'd go into a city, try to get there early, and we'd drop our bags off and just make it a day, and then we'd have to go to work. So,
Okay.
and got to travel the world, so blessed. And one of the things was doing the Barney movie too. I got to go up to Montreal and spend 3 months shooting the Barney movie and having to learn some French.
Un peu le français,
I
monsieur.
didn't know any French at all. Had to learn how to eat their food, and it was a neat thing. And you know, that was one of the other blessings that we did. So.
Okay.
Could Barney work today, given the internet and all the kind of different things now that are competing for children's attention? Of course, Chris told us his grandchild didn't want anything else that was on TV but wanted Barney.
I think it could. I think
100%.
it could. I think it would. And you know, might have to tweak it a little bit, but I think it could.
But you know, the episodes that I did with Jeff are back on TV. Just started again on.
They dropped them back out.
They just dropped them back out. So I think once again, because I mean, I get this all the time. You probably do too. On Sunday, one of my good friends said, "You've got a new fan," and there's a picture of her daughter watching Barney.
Yep. It could. Yeah, I was one of the fans since the mid-90s. But you know what? That was awesome. So, and, you know, when it comes to the mid-90s, watching Barney, I was like, okay, that was good. And when it comes with the whole Barney thing, like the mid-90s thing and early 2000s stuff, it was just like, okay, I have to watch the Barney voice. So Dean Wentz, who currently voiced Barney at the time, I don't know, strange me out. We'll talk more about that in my reaction to the Purple Tales podcast in several episodes times. But anyway, let's continue on.
It's kind of hard to find it. You know, people go straight to PBS, but now it's on.
What's on? I think it's on Netflix. I think there's several different.
Well, and now,
obviously YouTube.
And now it's here. I mean, we've got
It's here.
Purple Tales podcast. In
Yes.
fact, like anything that's great, everyone wants a reunion. Is that, you think that could ever be a
We
possibility,
do
other
them.
than just in here?
No, we do
We
them.
do them, but we're not. Excuse me. But we hadn't done enough of them. That's
Yeah.
the thing. So.
But not as reunions, but not as your characters.
No,
but
no, no.
just but do you think, if they came to you, that someone comes and said, "Hey guys, we want to do this again. We want to put on a show."
Of course.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, I was 23 when I started looking for a job. I mean, I really was. I was a musician. A musician always looking for a job. I was a musician looking for a job, and I'd never been in a costume. Didn't know really what was involved in all of that. And very quickly, all of a sudden, I started seeing these kids and the reactions, and I had to grow up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Be very responsive when you were doing that. I mean, when he says we did a 20-minute sing-along in a city, well, it was at least 3 20-minute sing-alongs.
There's three different
So we were doing
shows.
So I guess we'll keep saying back in the day, but we did one at Reunion Arena, which was before American Airlines in Dallas was the arena, and 3 sold-out shows.
It was a tester. It was kind of trying to find out if it was real or not.
You know, but you've got 18,000 people coming to see.
And it was only a 20-minute show, and it's scalpers.
20 minutes.
It was only 20 minutes. It was just a little sing-along, not a big, huge
No
backdrop.
opening act.
There
I
wasn't.
mean, just
It was.
No.
It was a
20
simple.
minutes.
The original, and then we toured. I toured for 5 years, and that was a full production.
Okay.
It was a simple backdrop, and basically our little sing along for 20 minutes, and then the big bang at the back end where we did "I Love You" and melted everybody in the stands, and which was really really cool.
It's funny that reunion one. I was just having lots of memories are going to come back. I was telling you, Mom, I invited my family came, and all my high school. I was a cross country runner, so and they had no idea. I was like, I'm doing this show. You guys should come. And so I got tickets. They had no idea what it was, and so they're looking at all these people that are in the audience, and then all of a sudden I come
And then
running out on stage.
we did another concert that was at Oklahoma for the Oklahoma City bombing, and that
Incredible.
it was very incredible. It was almost the same type of setup.
But it was a big fundraiser that they did, and the night before, they brought first responders and children that were. So we did a huge meet and greet, and that's important to me. And I noticed to you, Jeff, Barney did so much good. Yes,
Yeah.
They sold toys, they did all those things, but they did tons and tons of charity and took us to hospitals, and
And I think
very
that
important to them.
that was one of the main things. I can't speak for the producers and directors and all that, but I know that we had a big nonprofit agency for pediatric age, and they were the ones that were getting a lot of the money. So a lot of it was going to try to help, and I know Cheryl was a big advocate of that.
Still.
Well, now I know, Carrie, you transitioned into becoming a photographer, or
Yes.
you were always a photographer. Still a musician at all? Okay,
A little.
here and there. Wait a minute. What do you know about him that he's not saying?
I'm waiting for him to sing.
No, we'll let you do that.
Well, so what are you? How from what you did with the Barney show and as Baby Bob? How is that translated into your grown-up life? This life? Anything the same thing that you're doing, or?
Well, I'm working into mergers and acquisitions right now, selling companies from $1 million all the way up to $100 million, and working for one of the top M&A firms in Dallas, but it's in North America. So,
Well, I was going to say, would you say? I mean, it's sales because Barney is in many ways Barney and Friends was sales, wasn't it?
and
Yeah.
so always selling.
Yeah.
So,
But do you get that heart thing when you? Well, maybe when you get $1 billion MA, you're doing M&A or whatever they call it.
yeah, it's it's I would not trade it for the world for my purple and green.
Aw.
That was that. I'd rather go back to that.
Do they know
Still.
that you were Baby Bob?
Of course. I have to keep it quiet though.
Yeah.
Because everybody flocks to my desk, so
Isn't that crazy? Still.
Your secret life.
that's my secret life.
Ooh, that could be. That's kind of like the secret lives.
Yeah.
You guys.
The secret life.
So, can you sing? Little
No.
sing us out.
You'll sing "I Love You" for you.
No, he won't.
Maybe it's only with a date.
No, it is absolutely not with a date.
Exactly.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming. What do you want us to do in this podcast? You're our first guest. And Oprah said the hardest thing to do is get a first guest. So thank you for
You're welcome.
being our first.
You're welcome.
What
No,
what
he
can
was
we?
the only one that agreed to.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Done. We're done.
No, I'll say this very quickly, and this is what's been just. It doesn't feel like any different than when we were doing
No.
traveling.
That's
I mean, we
I-
don't have a problem talking. It's I cannot see him or talk to him for a year, and there's no.
It's like we saw each other yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. Still.
But we say some things, and we make them giggle.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know what you want us to do on this show on behalf of the entire crew, all the people that made this possible through the years.
Well, I'll tell you, my goal with this is to highlight everyone
Yes.
that was involved in this, from as he mentioned, he kept mentioning
It's-
publishing.
it's-
There was a lot of people involved that weren't involved with that, but Jeff and I spent so much time in that, and then obviously the TV show, and then special events. Jeff and I did that. I did the tour. There's a whole group of people involved in
not
that.
just one
There's
thing.
so
Not
many
just one
people.
thing. There's so many people involved in this. You know, from publishing to production to roadshow to special events to, you know,
To PR, to the people that did the sales, the people. I mean, there was a lot of people involved.
a lot of people that made it work. And without all those people, it would have not worked.
Well, we hope to find every single one of them, right? Because,
Absolutely.
but I want to preserve these wonderful memories. That's what I don't think we have those written in stone yet, do we?
No. Nancy, I think it's pretty obvious we're going to have him back.
I hope so. When you're out there, you know, wooing some girl as the one-time Barney, we'll have, and playing the, okay, well, Jeff can be the host. I think that'll work. Look, he's real easy to turn red, isn't he?
Yes.
And I'm sure you have a lot more stories.
I've got the box.
Ah, okay. So how do you want to finish this out, Carrie? This is your show.
Oh, I'm so thankful, and it feels so good to be doing this, and having Jeff here is just,
Thank you very much.
it's
for
so
having me
special.
on.
And what's so great is I'm hearing stories I haven't heard before. As Jeff is telling things, I've known him for 25 years, and I haven't heard some of these things. I didn't know the audition story.
Guess that's my secret.
Well, not anymore. Not anymore. So you're going to be able to get all these people together, and we're going to talk about all this.
Yeah, it should be a lot
Okay.
of fun.
Okay. Well, thank you for being the first. You'll always be the first guest. And you'll always be the host.
And I guess we need to tell people that they can see this. This will also be visual. That they can see this because you're missing some things with Jeff here. that audio just doesn't do.
Yeah, but yours and they're not. I don't want anyone to miss your sweat. We've got him.
No.
We've got
let's
him.
just the audio for that.
Well, we will be back.
Thank you, ma'am.
We'll surprise someone with our next guest, Jeff, Carrie. I'm Nancy, and this has been episode 1 of Purple Tales Podcast. Ooh, that just put chills on me.
Thank you.
So that was Purple Tales Podcast Episode 1. What do I think about this episode? It was amazing, and it brings back so many memories about Barney. So, Carrie Simpson, the costume actor of Barney, if you watch this episode of LJPCBM right now, you're gonna love the episode of LJPCBM. So, there you go on that. Anyways, double episode for LJPCBM, episode 319. I hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next episode, which is going to be episode 2 of Purple Tales Podcast. But until next time, this is Jefferson. Goodbye. Peace out, baby. We get more to be out to you guys very soon. But until then, Jeff saying out. See ya.
Given unto me this life I'll never take for granted, and given all the time I failed to really understand it, I never sought to meet the maker of reality, the one who gave the life that which is always happening, but I tried all the time.